Okay, so in my storyline breakdown this week, Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz from underdog to icon. Is Hayes ready to leave Miz in the dust? So, just reset my camera here. The WWE universe thrives on generational clashes. Few rivalries capture that tension better than the explosive feud between Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. What began as a promising alliance has devolved into betrayal, ambition, and a battle for legacy. At the heart of this saga lies a burning question. Is Hayes ready to step out of Miz's shadow and cement himself as a true icon? So the rise of Carmelo Hayes, he didn't just arrive at SmackDown, he made a statement. But his journey to the main roster was forged in the fire of NXT, where Hayes became one of the most decorated stars in the brand's history. Hayes debuted in NXT in 2021, answering Kushida's open challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. Though he lost that night, it marked the beginning of his meteoric rise. He went on to win the 2021 Breakout Tournament, defeating Odyssey Jones in the finals, and soon cashed in his contract to capture the NXT North American Championship from Isaiah Swerve Scott. Hayes held that title twice, setting a record for the longest combined reign, and even unified it with the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, becoming the final Cruiserweight champion in WWE history. In 2023, Hayes reached the pinnacle of NXT, dethroning Braun Breaker at Stand and Deliver, ushering in what fans call the Carmelo Hayes era. His reign as NXT champion solidified his reputation as him, a generational talent who could deliver in high-pressure matches against names like Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, and Ilya Dragunov. By the time Hayes was drafted to SmackDown in 2024, he had already carved his name into NXT history as a Triple Crown champion and one of the most influential figures on the brand's modern era. So the breaking point between Miz and Hayes happened on October 3rd when Hayes bluntly told Miz backstage, this is done. After a lot of tension, because Miz wanted to go after tag team titles with Hayes, and Hayes was looking more for the U.S. title for himself. So moments later, Miz ambushed Hayes before he could answer Sami Zayn's U.S. title open challenge, hitting him with a brutal skull-crushing finale. That wasn't just a split, it was a declaration of war. Hayes made his feelings crystal clear after Miz's repeated attacks. Fuck peace. This time I'm choosing violence. And meanwhile, Miz justified his betrayal with arrogance. I am the spotlight. I tried to mentor him, but Carmelo wasted the opportunity. So those two quotes perfectly frame the feud. Hayes fueled by rage and ambition, and Miz clinging to relevance and ego. So why does this feud matter that much? Well, Carmelo Hayes embodies the future. Athletic, charismatic, and unapologetically confident. He represents a new breed of star who thrives on speed, style, and social media buzz. The Miz, on the other hand, is the ultimate survivor. A 2-decade veteran who built his career on cunning, controversy, and calculated risk. Their feud symbolizes a tension between tradition and innovation, between the old guard and the new wave. So it's a battle for legacy and spotlight. For Miz, This isn't just about beating Hayes. It's about protecting his legacy. He's a former WWE champion, a Grand Slam winner, and one of the most decorated stars in the history of company. Watching Hayes steal the spotlight threatens everything Miz has worked for. For Hayes, this fight is personal. It's about proving he doesn't need a mentor, a tag team, or anyone else to validate his greatness. Every promo, every attack screams, "I'm not next, I'm now." So it's high stakes beyond titles. While the United States Championship looms in the background, this feud transcends gold. It's about identity, respect, and the power shift happening on SmackDown. If Hayes wins, he becomes the face of a new generation, a symbol of WWE's future. But if Mills prevails, he reinforces the idea that experience and strategy still outshine raw talent. Fans love stories with layers, and this one delivers. Betrayal, ambition, and redemption. Miz's arrogance versus Hayes' hunger creates a dynamic that feels real and relatable. It's not just a match, it's a narrative of pride and security and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Is Hayes ready to surpass The Miz? The short answer is yes, but it won't be easy. Hayes has the athleticism, mic skill, and fan support to become a main event player. His NXT resume proves he can carry a brand. But Miz is no pushover. With 2 decades of experience and a knack for exploiting weaknesses, Miz thrives in psychological warfare. If Hayes can match Miz's cunning and deliver under pressure, this feud could be his launch pad to superstardom. And I think that's what's going to happen. So the road ahead. This rivalry is no longer a side story. It's becoming one of SmackDown's centerpiece narratives. Of course, it took a little backseat to the Last Time Is Now tournament, but trust me, after Survivor Series, it's going to come back with a vengeance. Hayes made it clear he's chasing singles glory, and all signs point to the United States Championship as his next target. But Miz isn't just standing in his way. He's actively trying to sabotage Hayes' rise using every trick in his veteran playbook. So expect this feud to escalate beyond verbal jabs and sneak attacks. WWE has been teasing high-profile segments and a showdown as a major PLE, like Royal Rumble or hell, maybe even WrestleMania. Miz thrives on big stages, and Hayes needs the defining victory to cement his status as a top-tier superstar. So the dynamic is compelling. Hayes wants to prove he's just not him in NXT. He's ready for the main roster spotlight. And Miz wants to remind the world that experience and cunning can outshine youthful ambition. So look for Miz to lean into psychological warfare, mind games, ambushes, and maybe even pulling strings to block Hayes from title opportunities. Meanwhile, Hayes will likely respond with aggression and athletic dominance, aiming to silence Miz and the doubters in one decisive match. When these two finally clash in a sanctioned bout, it won't be just about bragging rights. It will be about legacy. If Hayes wins, he becomes the face of a new generation. If Miz prevails, he proves that the old guard still rule the roost.